Major U.S. retailers like Walmart and Best Buy, along with manufacturers from shampoo to shoes, are feeling the impact of President Donald Trump's expanded tariffs on more than 70 countries. Announced on August 1 to bring jobs back and force new trade deals, the effects have landed fastest not abroad, but in U.S. cities and households. An auto supplier in Detroit says layoffs and warehouse closures are inevitable. General Motors reported over $1 billion in losses from tariffs in the last quarter. Ford, Stanley Black & Decker, and Apple have each projected hundreds of millions in added costs. Retailers are passing those costs on to shoppers, with prices rising on everyday goods from toiletries to footwear. Even coffee is at risk, as tariffs hit Brazilian imports that supply a third of America's beans. Economists warn this is when the public begins to feel the pinch. In Canada, a 35% tariff now targets goods outside USMCA protections, hitting steel, aluminum, softwood lumber, and many auto parts. Exports are down sharply, with Alberta's energy sector suffering most. But Prime Minister Mark Carney is responding with strategy, not retaliation, focusing on diversifying trade and strengthening ties with Mexico. Canada's finance and foreign ministers met in Mexico City to align ahead of the USMCA review. While Mexico received a tariff delay from Washington, Canada did not, fueling urgency to build this partnership. Trump's tactics are blunt: raise tariffs, pressure partners, rely on U.S. resilience. But in 4 months, the U.S. manufacturing sector has lost tens of thousands of jobs. Carney's contrast is deliberate: invest in resilience, protect critical sectors, and play the long game. Even after Trump's deadline passed without a deal, Canada's most vital exports, oil, gas, key foods, and certain automotive parts, remained untouched under USMCA. Copper tariffs hit only specific semi-finished goods, sparing Canada's main exports. This wasn't luck, it was careful positioning. Trump complicated matters by linking trade talks to Canada's stance on Palestinian statehood, shifting the narrative from economics to geopolitics. Ottawa refused to rush. Experts note Canada's deal is already better than agreements the US signed with other allies now facing blanket tariffs. Carney's government is betting that time will deliver better terms while keeping strategic sectors safe. At midnight on August 1, tariffs on Canadian goods outside USMCA rose to 35%, a symbolic move that hit only a small share of exports. Canada did not retaliate immediately. Instead, it projected calm. Public sentiment favors stability over tit-for-tat responses. Past retaliatory bans during Trump's first term made an impact, and that option remains on the table. For now, Canada is quietly pursuing a northern corridor trade route with Mexico, bypassing the US altogether. The US points to short-term GDP growth as proof of strength, but analysts call it a temporary boost from pre-tariff stockpiling. Trump promised hundreds of trade deals. Only a fraction have materialized, and Canada isn't one of them. Each tariff risks isolating the US further. Canada isn't just enduring the pressure, it's building alternatives. And that may prove to be the most effective answer of all. This is True State Report. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.